Disclaimer. This is a topic that goes way deeper than the depth I'm diving into in this video. This video is not a breakdown of Flint, Michigan gang politics. In this video, my plan is to take an overall look at Rio Da Yung OG's life and legacy, commenting on what I feel could have led him into getting involved in street politics, and explaining how I feel Rio was the artist most responsible for the Flint music wave's popularity and mainstream success, arguably due to his work ethic and hustle. Thanks! Hope you enjoy. Demario Donche Horn McCullough, better known by his stage name, Rio Da Yung OG, is a Flint, Michigan musical artist who arguably put the city's music scene back on the map and helped popularize one of the most current popular sounds in hip-hop. That being the high-energy, funny, punch-in artist like Babyface E or say, Babytron. This is the story of the originator of the Flint style, Rio Da Yung OG. Growing up on the rougher side of Flint, Michigan, Rio would be surrounded by all things that would become hallmarks in his future work ethic. That, of course, being poverty, drug dealing, and gang activity. To put the poverty and lack of government care of Flint into perspective, we need to first look at the dirty water issue dating back to 2014. Apparently, due to erosion and degradation to some of the pipes in the city's water systems, lead began seeping into the water supply in highly concentrated amounts, which I shouldn't have to tell you is really fucking bad for your health. It took the city nearly a year to switch the water supply and unfuck the damage caused by government negligence. Like Obama himself had to go down there and fix the shit is how fucking negligent the government is down there. The government negligence, of course, extending way further than just the water facilities. With all that being said though, Rio seemingly didn't have an awful upbringing. For example, besides the poverty, he doesn't really go into all that much detail about his life growing up. The two things he does speak on is that his biological brother is a rapper who he often collabs with named Louis Ray, and he also explains how he got the burn mark that is super prominent on his face. The story goes, at the age of 12, Rio would be in his house smoking weed and decided he wanted to be responsible and make himself some french fries. As he tells it, Rio put grease on the frying pan, put some fries on that shit, and set it on the stove and turned it up to high heat, and then went into his room to finish his blunt. The thing with him finishing his blunt was, he happened to forget all about the fact he was cooking something, so of course, the grease began to pop and flame like crazy. In a panic, Rio went to throw water on the grease fire. Don't fucking do that. When Rio dumped the water on the frying pan, fire and grease erupted from the stove and popped into his face, burning him and leaving him with the scar we see today. The reason he still has this burn is because he refused to get the face graft to fix it. I'm not sure why, if I'm honest, probably something to do with his pride or some shit. Because of his poor financial upbringing, Rio would often try to find ways to make money really quickly, and money became his main goal for a long while. And this is shown by his extensive arrest history and his incredible work ethic. He mostly seemingly sold drugs, and he graduated to mostly taking them. I'm getting a little ahead of myself though. When Rio was a teenager, him and his close friend, RMC Mike, would begin to record music on a karaoke machine for him and his friends to listen to. This became one of the early sparks that would ignite his later passion for music of all types. The website Genius claims that Rio Da Yung OG's first ever song was dropped on January 25th, 2016 and was called Dog. I legit could not find any links to it online, so maybe Rio scrubbed that shit from the internet to hide his embarrassment. We might never know. The first song that's still currently up on Rio's YouTube channel is the song Numbers, featuring his childhood friend RMC Mike. That would be dropped on May 30th, 2019. Shit, low-key, I think COVID happened so Rio could push more cough syrup and begin his fucking rap career. This shit too coincidental, if I'm being honest. All jokes aside, from the beginning of their music career, both Rio and RMC Mike had their signature delivery and humor on the tracks they put out. This, in turn, made their growth begin to happen super fast. Pair their style with the fact that Rio would be put on ankle monitor, meaning he was able to put out a lot more music due to his free time, meant that fans were flooded with this new wave and style of Flint rap. It's hard to describe, but it's kinda offbeat, decently high energy beats, and funny lyrics mixing hood shit with comedy led to mainstream appeal almost immediately. Rio would go on to mention in his No Jumper interview that he didn't begin to take music seriously until he met one of his musical idols, Peasy. PZ allegedly showed him 20 bands he had on him and told him he made $50K off music that day alone. This was an eye-opening experience to Rio, as he realized if he could put the hustle he had put in the drug game into his musical career, he could have a true chance to make it big. So that's what he did, to great effect. On September 15th, 2019, Rio would go on to drop his most popular song to date. That song, of course, being the song Legendary, and is currently sitting at a whopping 38 million views, and most definitely more on other streaming services. This arguably put the style of Michigan rap on the map and propelled him into the mainstream zeitgeist. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's not understate the before-mentioned work ethic Rio displays. Rio has done the most features out of any artist I know. He will do songs with the littlest known nobodies to the fucking superstars, often taking paid feats, saying in a Say Cheese interview that he had made 30 bands off some unknown artist album. And the thing about these features are, they tend to be genuinely pretty good. He never phones in or half-asses verses like many artists do with paid feats, which I, for one, am very, very thankful of. Rio Da Yung OG and a few of his collaborators would go on to join PZ's Ghetto Boys label and would begin to really heavily rep it on both music and posts. This, mixed with some of Rio's own people still drug dealing on the side, would lead to legal troubles down the line. Not helped by the fact that Rio and crew began to take the drugs themselves more often now than selling, to my knowledge. In January of 2019, Rio would be picked up on a gun charge, added on to an intent to distribute RICO charge that he wouldn't be officially charged for until the summer of 2021. His quick rise in popularity and money happening almost entirely in the time that he had that hanging over his head. Talk about stress. Rio, due to his amazing work ethic, would of course have a plethora of music videos stored up for the time he would be behind bars. And those songs kept consistently getting views, with songs like Talking Crazy being dropped in 2023 and having over 10 million views as of right now. The amount of music him and his team have dropped on his behalf since he got arrested has been genuinely shocking. This motherfucker seemingly did nothing but eat, sleep, and record music for these years. The best part about it is the quality is always pretty good to great in all of his music, current and old. Since he's been locked up, he's gotten hella industry support from everyone from 42 Doug to another rapper in his neighborhood named Babyface E, constantly showing love, and that's not even mentioning RMC Mike, Babytron, Louis Ray, and all the other plethora of Flint rappers who came out after him. Rio Da Yung OG is set to be released from jail January 2025, and I for one am hyped to finally have the arguably hardest working artist in rap and the face of Flint back on the streets, making music and pushing the Detroit sound to the top of the airwaves once more. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment who y'all trying to see next, and subscribe with the bell to be notified of all my future uploads. If I get anything wrong, be sure to comment and correct me, as well as if I miss anything. I'll be sure to put it in either the description of this video or put it in my next video. My next upload will most likely be LA Capone off a recommendation, but if y'all want to see anyone else, let me know, cause I'm down for whatever. With all that out the way, peace out, chill out.
Fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part.